few tips about how to add status effects and light effects on your token easily. For example, torch lights, light cantrips, the rage status effect, bless, guidance, etc, etc. When you have your token selected, on the left side controls, on the token controls, you will see add convenient effects. This is from a module, and by clicking it you get a list of effects you can assign to your token. For example, you can assign a torch effect, which gives it the icon of the torch and also applies the light effects of a torch. Clicking it again removes it, and you can apply several of them, like rage. It also mechanically changes things on your character sheet. For example, rage will add the bonus damage on your attacks. A bless effect will add the d4 when you roll an attack. For example, if we make a dagger attack with this, it automatically rolls d20 and d4 at the same time. And if you have a lot of them and you want to remove all of them, there is a remove convenient effect that asks you which one you want to remove. If you want to remove all of them, you just click remove and everything is gone. Next, let's talk about the Argon Combat HUD, a very convenient tool for combat, especially for new players, but also for veterans, to remind them what they can do and have all your stuff accessible in an organized manner. When combat starts, you can right-click your token and activate the dual crossed swords. It will activate your HUD, which, if it is not maximized, you can click on the arrow here to see it. Originally it is in a quite big scale. I will show you where you can adjust the settings after we go through the options here. Here you can see your movement speed in squares, and it tells you how many squares your normal movement is. After you move all your 6 squares, for example, the blue will turn to yellow, which indicates your dash distance. You can have all your checks available here in this little icon, and saving throws as well. Anything you click, it gives you a description when you hover over it, and clicking it will make the relevant check. You can access your character sheet as well from this icon, and you can roll initiative if there is a combat tracker activated. Currently there is not. It tells you which spells you have available and prepared, how many spell slots of each category you have, cantrips of course. It tells you your items that you can use. These are spell scrolls that take a main action and has split your bonus actions into a different category to easily find during combat what you can use as bonus actions. You might have free actions or reactions as well, depending on what items and features your character has. Reminds you that you can take the dash action, shove action, hide, radiant action, dodge or disengage during combat, and explains you how exactly they work. Now initially, as I said, it will be quite large. You can change that by going to the module settings on the Argon Combat HUD, changing the scale here and then turning it off and on to apply the settings. Make sure you have the prepared spells only ticked and show tooltips. Everything else is up to your preferences. Also on the Argon HUD you'll see these boxes above your character. There you drag weapons from your character sheet and you set up item sets which you can easily swap. Here we have equipped 2 daggers, one on each hand as a main hand and an offhand. The right box is considered the offhand and the left one is considered the main hand. Another important setting that makes your combat easier is again on the module settings, on the one that is called D&D 5e helpers. You need to have this box ticked here, compute cover on target. After you have this ticked and you move your token behind and you are attempting to do a ranged attack, for example on this skeleton back there, when you target it with double right click, it will tell you on the chat if it has cover from any source. This one tells you that it has a half cover, so its AC is increased by 2. If you target this one, it tells you that there is no cover on this one, and you can check cover on any token at any time. Another very useful setting you can turn on is on the louder whispers module, to have the first one to give you a notification when you get a whisper. Sometimes the DM will whisper you mid-combat or mid-conversation something that the other players are not supposed to hear, and if you're not seeing it, you might be missing on interesting information and roleplay opportunities. So have this one selected at yes, permanent until dismissed, and every time you get a whisper, you will have a message at the top of your screen saying who whispered you, and the message will not go away until you confirm that you saw it and you click on it. Another helpful tip that many do not know how it works is that you can pop out every window from the top right corner into a different mini window and move it around your screen. And when it takes too much space, double clicking on the top of it minimizes it into a very easily accessible tab. You can have your combat tracker like that to see the initiative and the turn order during combat. You can have your character sheets available like this in maps that do not have tokens, and you cannot double click on your token to open it. You can even pop out the chat and have it as a different window in different sizes. You can even put it on a different monitor if that helps you, if you have multiple screens. Another tip is how to break your movement and how to calculate without the difficult terrain. For example, let's say that you want to move on the other side of this, and this skeleton is a friendly token. Moving through the skeleton would cost you 15 feet because the square of the skeleton counts as difficult terrain. But if you split your movement like that by pressing spacebar over a square, it costs you only 10 feet and you cover the same distance. If you want to calculate with a ruler the true distance between 2 points without the difficult terrain, you need to deactivate this walking figure icon and then use the ruler. That calculates without the difficult terrain. Enabling it again calculates distance with difficult terrain. During combat, there will be a lot of times that you need to adjust your HP. There are several ways to do that. Some are easier, some are slower. The slowest is by opening your character sheet and adjusting manually every time the value is here. But this one gives you the most options as well. Alternatively, the one that I use myself most often is this little window, which you can put anywhere on your screen, move it around, or deactivate it by clicking on this icon. What this little window does, once you have your token selected and you type any number inside and press enter or press the red down arrow, it will damage your token by that amount. So automatically it takes 5 HP and also displays you your HP and percentage here. Same way, if you type 5 and you click the blue arrow up, it will heal your HP for that amount. The advantage of this method is that if you have temporary HP, let's say you have 10 temporary HP, which shows again on the bar of your token as blue. If you type 15 here and you damage your token by that amount, it takes the temporary HP first and then your normal HP. The red skull icon kills your character automatically and the blue heart heals it back to full. Alternatively, you can adjust your HP from here by typing a minus number, minus 10 for example, to damage by 10, or a plus 10 to heal by 10. If you don't type a minus and a plus, it will set the value to the HP that you typed. How do you prepare spells and how do you filter your spells by your prepared? On your Spellbook tab, you will have, if you're a druid, a cleric, a wizard that prepare spells and select from the learned spells. You will have a lot of spells available, and this icon on the right side, the little asterisk, is the preparation icon. If it is checked, it is prepared. If it is grayed out, it is unprepared. If you don't want to see your whole list of prepared spells, specifically for druid and clerics, you click on the prepared filter up here and it sorts them out, showing only the prepared ones. If you're using the Argon Combat HUD, it only shows the prepared spells if you selected the option from the settings as well. But many people want to prepare new spells and they want to see what they have prepared on a new day. So this method here tells them the prepared spells only, and clicking it again will make all the spells available. Same way you can filter out spells by rituals, concentration spells if you don't want to pick many of them, reaction spells, bonus action spells, and action spells. As a reminder, clicking on the name will give you the description of the spell. Clicking on the icon will attempt to cast the spell, asking you, this was a cantrip. If you cast a non-cantrip spell, it will ask you if you want to consume a spell slot. Under normal circumstances you do, unless there was some misclick or there is a repetition of a spell for some reason. And also you can select what level you want to cast the spell with. On spells that affect areas, it will also ask you if you want to place the template. Let's see, for example, lightning bolt. If you don't want to place the template, you untick, or if you don't want to spend the spell slot, if it is coming from a source that gives you the spell slot, you untick that one as well.